Talking about the Titans here. The Titans.
Swing and a drive, left field. It's gone. It is gone. It is bedlam at the bank.
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Podcast right here. You already know. Go fucking subscribe. Go follow.
You are now listening to the 302 Birds Phillies postgame show with Eric, Brendan, Dalt, and Ballpark Tommy. Proudly powered by TickPick. Check out the link in the bio for $10 off your first order today. Let's take it to the show.
Man, I got a big smile on my face because if you would have told me this homestand that the Phillies would have went 5-2 against the Astros and the Braves, and they would have won both series, I would have told you you're crazy, especially how they've been playing for the past couple weeks. But they take 2 of 3 against the Astros, and surprisingly, I didn't expect it. They take 3 of 4 against the Braves, and I'm sorry if my voice sounds a little hoarse. I was at the game last night. That's why we didn't do a show last night, and then Friday was my birthday, so was out celebrating that. But like I said, I was at the game last night. That was an amazing shutout win. I was screaming the entire night, and then I was screaming tonight on my couch just for this win. But like, I fully did not expect to win tonight, just going up 2-0. And Nick Castellanos, dude, huge game from him. He's just been hot lately, and we're going to talk about all this in a second. But we got two special guests on the show tonight, James and Gavin.
Yo.
Both of you on here, and we're going to get your takes. But James, we'll start with you, man. What did you think overall? Give me your take before we get into these topics.
Oh man, that was one of the biggest series wins of the season. I mean, you go into this weekend, not this Thursday, and you have your mindset that we're going to go out there in a big series against the Braves, which I had a mixed feeling, but I had sort of a good feeling that we might either split or take the series this weekend, and we ended up taking the series. But this was the biggest series win of the year, heading into the road series, and we'll get into the preview of that after a little bit later in the show. But overall, Nick Castellanos, I should say Nick Foles 2.0, because Nick seemed like somebody named Nick always saves the day, just like the Eagle, just like Nick Foles in Super Bowl 52, and now Nick Castellanos in a game on September 1st, 2024, about a month and maybe change before Red October. Well, actually a month before Red October, because I don't know if we're going to get the bye or not, which that's an iffy situation right now. But it's Christmas in September. I felt like it's Christmas in September right now with Nicky Casty or Nicky Foles 2.0 coming in there and getting the win. So.
Right. Gavin, what did you think about this win?
It was great. I mean, like James said, it's really big to win a series, of course. And coming into this weekend, my mindset was, we don't have to sweep. I didn't think we had a chance of sweeping, of course. So a series win's good. Beating Houston and then coming to beat Atlanta is really big. And we've had a tough schedule. I mean, August was brutal. It was brutal with our schedule. So, this series win should give them confidence, especially since it's September 1st. You start off the month with a dub. So this is a big confidence booster for Castellanos, of course, because he's turned his second half of the season tremendously. I mean, he's been balling out, which has been great for him. But yeah, just this whole race between, us, Milwaukee, and Dodgers is tough, but we're still hanging in there, and beating Atlanta is really big because we're like, we're at the top of the division. It's usually Atlanta. And like I said before, I'm not used to us even being at the top. So us at the top and winning this series is giant. It is really, really, really big.
Right, and I definitely agree with you. And I think ESPN put up a graphic at the end of the game, and it said we have 90+% chance of winning the division. And I was telling you both this before the show started. Them winning not only this game but this series, really, in my opinion, kind of puts the Braves on the back burner, because now the Braves, looking at the wild card race, they are, for the NL, I'm pulling it up here, they're 1 game ahead of the Mets. And the Chicago Cubs are 3 games back from both the Mets and the Braves. So
Cubs just won 6 in a row, I'm pretty sure.
They're 9-1 in their last 10 games.
Yeah.
So, it would be the funniest thing. And I'm trying to they're 9-1 in their last 10. So, it would just be the funniest thing if the Cubs can keep up their momentum and jump both the Mets and the Braves. I think that would be absolutely hilarious, but we'll see what happens. But again, I mean, this is just a huge, huge win for not only the Phillies, but for the standings as well. And that's going to lead us into our first topic. What's going on, Sam? Always a pleasure seeing you in the chat. We got to get you back on one night, man. Text me and let me know a night that you want to come on. I think you have my number. So going into the first topic, first thing we're going to talk about, I originally was going to make this just about Nola, but I just feel like that's not appropriate because the pitching all around, you had another very, very solid outing by your pitching staff. I mean, Aaron Nola, he let up 2 runs, but I mean, anytime your starter can go out and only let up 2 runs and have your offense behind you to back you up it's good. It's not the best, but I mean, he got the job done. He kept them in the game. Had another quality start, went 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 of them earned. So both of them. 1 walk, 9 strikeouts, 1 home run. It's guaranteed every time that Nola goes out that he's going to let up a home run. Granted, it was a 2-run home run, but whatever. 3.29 ERA. And then, was it a 2-run home run? I think it was, right?
I thought it was a solo shot.
It might have been a solo shot. I don't know. I'm so hyped over this game. Oh yeah, it was a solo shot. But after Nola, it was Orion Kerkering, 1 inning pitched, no hits, no runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, 2.2 ERA. Hoffman and Strahm, they're both dominant, both deserving of the All-Star this season. Hoffman and Strahm, both 1 inning pitched. They both let up 1 hit. The only difference is that Strahm walked 2, which we're going to talk about him in a second. Strahm walked 2, and Hoffman struck out 2. Strahm, dude, a little bit on edge there towards the end of the game. I'm really surprised that he got out of that jam. He loaded the bases, just seemed like he could not throw a strike to save his life there for a second. But he got out of it. Looking at what he did, he let Matt Olson single. He walked Ramon Loreno. Orlando Arcia popped out to first base. And so that was 2 outs. And then Luke Williams got the 3rd out. He flew out to Brandon Marsh. So that kept them in the game, sent it to extras. But the bullpen just did not give up a run, and it seemed like the bullpen is back to its dominant self. So, Gavin, we'll start with you this time, man. What did you think of the bullpen?
Bullpen was a little scary. I will admit.
Just pitching, just the pitching tonight in general.
It's just the pitching tonight. I mean, Nola was amazing. I thought Nola was great. Like I said before, with this team and this lineup on paper, they should be averaging at least 5 to 6 runs a game, in my opinion. They just have too good of a lineup. So, I mean, Nola's allowed to give up a couple runs, and of course, it's guaranteed. You know, once he pitches, he gives up usually a solo shot. So, him only giving up 2 runs is really big, especially against this Atlanta Braves team. I do think the crowd helped because it was packed at the bank and it was rocking. I mean, the crowd was booing and they were cheering. I could hear it through the TV. It was amazing. So Nola had a really good outing. I mean, 9 Ks, 1 walk, 2 earned runs. It's pretty good for Nola. And like you said, Strom was a little scary, just a little bit. But he got the job done. You know, Hoffman did his thing. But I thought the pitching tonight was decent. I thought it was pretty good. I think this whole series, the pitching has been decent. I think Wheeler was amazing against the Braves. He was great. But I think it was just a great overall weekend with pitching.
Right. And I mean, I was there for the game last night with Wheeler, and I kept telling my wife, I was like, you know, they got to let him go out another inning. I think he only went 7 last night. But I kept telling her and the people around me, because we were all talking, I was like, you know, he's got to go at least 8. But I mean, it worked out in the end last night. They got the combined shutout. So, James, what did you think of Nola in the bullpen tonight?
Oh, it was great. The bullpen and Nola did pretty good job of holding things down tonight. I mean, except I know Nola allowed that homer and then ground ball play. Didn't really have any control. It was it wasn't a bad pitch. The guy hit it towards the ground, and it was almost double play. If they would have got a double play out of that, we probably would have been in a situation of a walk off, and we probably would have won the game 2-1. But overall, I think it was scripted to and meant to be like this this game on a walk up. But the pitching overall, the pitching is firing last couple games on all cylinders. Overall, this team, ever since after Wednesday night, and the pitching staff, if you're not named Taiwan Walker, then you're a good pitcher on the Phillies. So pretty much anybody but Taiwan Walker is insane when it comes to pitching as of late, because and hopefully, knock on wood, hopefully Taiwan Walker does not have to pitch in the bullpen on Tuesday and make this pitching insane thing become.
Yeah, I mean,
I honestly thought he was going to come in tonight. I'm not going to lie. I thought they were going to bring him. He was going to be leaving after all to know.
I'm curious to see, because he's the long man now, and I don't really know what that entails totally. I'm curious to see how that would work. I'm curious to see if on Tuesday, because the roster's expanded today, and they called up Tyler Phillips and Cody Clemens. I'm curious to see if on Tuesday, if they have Phillips go, I don't know, 3 or 4 innings, and then Walker come in for an inning or 2, depending on the score. I mean, I could see that happening. I'm curious to see, you know, your guys' opinions on that. I mean, could you guys see that happening?
Maybe. I mean, it all depends too. Think about it. We're playing a Blue Jays team that has, and I'll tell you, I know the Blue Jays aren't a good team, that great of a team, but think about it this way, right? Blue Jays are a Major League Baseball team just like everybody else. They got some sluggers on the team. they got some sluggers on the team. Vlad Guerrero Jr.'s son. I wouldn't be surprised if he hits a dinger off of us on Tuesday. But overall, I think I'm just making this prediction that Vladdy hits a home run against us on Tuesday. Even though I hope he doesn't, but I'm just making this prediction to everybody that's watching right now, because think about it. Tyler Phillips is just coming back too. If you think about it, first start in a few weeks, so I don't know how good he's going to look. Because think about it, he's never pitched against the Blue Jays before. So, not saying we're not going to lose that game. I'm just saying in reality, because the Blue Jays just have some nice talent on that team. It's just I think just their pitching was a bit weak. If they could score runs, the Blue Jays. So think about it. As we'll get to more of that as we go along. But yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like I said, I'm curious to see what they do with the Walker situation. Gavin, did you have anything you wanted to add on the Walker situation?
Nothing much really. I mean, we'll see how this bullpen experiment goes with him. It's a little nerve-wracking. But we'll see. Is Phillips like confirmed as the starter?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Everything I've seen from reports like Jeff and Tim on Twitter, if you guys know who those are, they're CBS reporters. But everything I've seen from them has said that Phillips is starting on Tuesday.
Has Phillips ever faced the Blue Jays in his career?
No.
Do we know?
No.
All right. So here's my hot take and here's my prediction. He's actually going to do really well because since they've never seen Phillips, he's going to kill them. He's going to kill them. Watch. It's going to happen.
I mean, I don't even think, honestly, Phillips was that bad when he was up here. I mean, he had his moments. I just don't think he had time to really develop. And with Taiwan coming back, I think it kind of threw him off. And honestly, if I'm Tyler Phillips, I mean, you got like, if I was in Tyler Phillips' shoes, I'd be looking at this situation like, okay, Walker is in the bullpen now. You need somebody to fill your fifth starter role, especially going into September, going into the postseason. Let me see if I can be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's going to be my mentality every time I'm going to go on the mound is let me go out there and give the best version of myself that I can possibly do.
Yeah.
And show that I deserve that starting role.
For sure. And just hope that your team hits for you on Tuesday. Gotta hit.
And then speaking of pitching, I think you said it earlier, Gavin. Didn't somebody just get called up to Reading?
Yeah, it was actually Aiden Miller. Aiden Miller just got called up today from
He's
Jersey.
not a pitcher though, is he?
No, he plays third base.
Gotcha.
Third and second. But he's one of their top prospects. Is he ranked number 1 now as their top?
I think so. I'd have to look.
It's between him, Crawford, and Pena right now. But he just got called up to Reading, which is really big.
Yeah. So going into our next topic, the next thing we're going to talk about, Nick Castellanos, dude. He's on fire. 2 for 5 today, 3 RBI. He was the sole reason that we won this game. He was the sole reason we got those 3 runs. He hit in the bottom of the 6th. He doubled on a line drive to Jared Klenick. Trey Turner and Bryce Harper scored. I believe they advanced on a indifference. So with them advancing, I mean, you scored 2 runners right there, and that was huge. The Phillies going down 2-0 with the way that their offense has been, they could not hit off of Swellenbach tonight. They just couldn't. It seemed like the only people that could hit were the top of the lineup. So everybody from Schwarber to Casti has a hit. Everybody after that, like Stott, Remuto, Marsh, Hayes, Sosa, Clemens, they don't have hits at all. But like just a lot of and Gavin and I were talking about this during the game. Kevin Long, dude, what are you? I want to know what Kevin Long does on their off days, or just like the time that they spend before the game doing batting practice, because like I swear, man, if we see Swellenbach again, knock on wood, if we play the Braves in the postseason, because I mean, it's very well that they might miss the postseason, but theoretically, if we see Swellenbach again, it's going to be annoying because this is the second time you've seen him in the span of what, like 7 days, and this is the second time where he's almost shut you out. Like it's annoying because like the first time you saw this guy and you could not hit off of him, Kevin, what did you do with this team to adjust to that? Because it seems like again, sorry, my voice is shot from last night. I sound like a prepubescent boy, but I just like, what did you do in this span? You knew that he was going to pitch again. You knew the last time he pitched against you, you couldn't hit off of him. And then he showed you up again tonight. I mean, he went 5.2, 5 hits, 2 runs, you know, and just like before that 6th inning, he was shutting you out. You couldn't hit. He was painting the zone, pounding the zone, putting the ball everywhere. Our whole team was just swinging at things way outside. JT Realmuto took a five ball at bat and turned it into a strikeout. Like literally 5 balls, and they were way outside the zone. Nick Castellanos, I mean, granted, he won us the game tonight. He had a chance to, you know, drive in some runs and takes 3 sliders outside the zone. Nick Castellanos can't hit sliders to save his life. So, like, I want to know what Kevin does with this team because just their batting is so atrocious. And I'm surprised they even won the game tonight.
Yeah. I mean, the one question I have for Kevin Long is, what does he tell them with their approach? Like, I wonder if he says, all right, I want you guys to be aggressive and swing at the first pitch or take, because it's so like bipolar and inconsistent with every game. You don't know. Because the thing is, we in the first half of the season, we would be able to tell ourselves, okay, we're going to sweep this team. We're going to win this team. Now in the second half of the season, it's more of an everyday question. Like, will we hit? Are we going to hit with men in scoring position? Will we win the game? We don't know. So I don't know what Kevin Long tells them, or if he just says, all right, it's this pitcher. I want you to take the first pitch every time because so you can see his pitches or it's going to be a ball. Or if he's like, no, swing at the first pitch and be aggressive. So I don't really know what he tells the team.
Right. James, what did you think about Nick, and what do you think about Kevin Long's approach to batting?
Nick Castellanos was pretty much he is really been redeeming himself as of late in the second half, especially in this last month. Because remember, there was a point earlier in the season that Nick Castellanos, for a while there, he was slumping big time. And then, like you mentioned, when every time there's bad stuff happening within days or within the day, Nick Castellanos seems to come through, and that was the case this weekend. I know everybody. I know Johnny Gaudreau and what's his name passed his brother. Sadly, it's their first time doing the show since sadly got killed by a drunk driver the other day. But it seemed like Nick Castellanos, like Shard mentioned a few days back before this was I think you mentioned this a day or two before the Goudreau brothers got killed. Shard, about Nick Castellanos coming through every time something bad happens.
Yeah, I don't know much about hockey. I saw the situation. It's really unfortunate that, you know, they died, and I don't want to make a I guess you call it a pun out of a tragedy like that. I know they died, and I know, you know, the situation is going to be seen as that of, oh, Nick Castellanos hit a home run for them, which sure, whatever, if you want to look at it that way. Personally, though, I mean, it's just it's tragic that happened. It's more of a joke when it's something that happens that's not. I don't even know how to put it.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Don't worry. Like I know what you're trying to say.
It's funny in its own right, but it's like certain times where it's funny and certain times where like I don't want to laugh at it because it's just
with like unexpected stuff at a young age. It's not.
right,
Yeah.
right. So
I was more thinking of Fat Me and Scoop. Fat Me and Scoop died yesterday, so I was like, oh,
yeah,
Cassie walked it off for him.
yeah,
But
so.
yeah, I mean, Cassie has had a great second half. He's turned it around tremendously, which is good.
Right. So, but going into the last topic, last thing we're going to talk about, huge series win, dude. Like I said earlier, I did not expect to take this series. I really thought that they were going to split. I really thought that they were going to be content with splitting. Because that just seems like the mentality that this team has lately. And just this homestand in general between the like I said earlier, the Astros and the Braves, huge homestand. You went 5-2. You lost one game to both teams, and just shows that honestly, I think you're back. I really do, and I'm gonna knock on wood for that. But like, just the bullpen has been dominant. The pitching has been dominant. Offense still needs some work, but you have guys on this lineup that are finding ways to win, and that's really all you need to do at this point in this part of the season is just you need to win games. You need to find every single way to win to make sure that you are keeping your head above the water. And it's a really tight race right now with the Dodgers and the Brewers. The Dodgers and the Brewers both lost tonight. I think the Brewers lost to the Reds, and I think the Dodgers lost to the Diamondbacks. So going into the postseason right now, we're in the number 2 seed. We have a bye right now. And we'll see what happens the rest of this season. But I would rather have that bye right now because if I'm being completely honest, and Gavin, I think you and I said this earlier,
Yeah.
I'm on the fence depending on who we have to play. If we had to play like the Diamondbacks, I'm on the fence because
avoid them.
On one hand, like they are really hot and they're really good against us. But on the other hand, the Phillies love revenge games. They love revenge games. They thrive off of it. So I'd be really curious to see how that goes again if we did play them. I don't know if we will or won't. We'll see. It all depends on how things shake out.
Yeah, for sure.
Again, huge series win.
But yeah, like you said, it depends what placement they get. Because if they got the 2 seed, they would either play. Well, if the let's say if the season ended right now, they would get the 2 seed, and it would be either Milwaukee or Atlanta, the winner of that. I would rather play that than get the 1st seed and play. What would it be? It would be Arizona and who would it be?
If we got the 1st seed, I think Arizona or the Brewers, I think.
I thought the Brewers and Atlanta would be on the 2nd seed.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. The point is, I would rather play.
I haven't looked at wild card standings here in a minute.
Yeah, I would rather play Milwaukee or Atlanta just because I know we can beat them. Like you said, a revenge game would be really interesting against Arizona. I'm just like, at this point, watching them play against Arizona every season, and the NLCS last season really did it for me, and then this season with a regular series, I am like, I'm not going to say I'm terrified of Arizona, but they intimidate me because for some reason, they just get in our heads, and I'm going to say it, they honestly own us. So, I mean, the postseason, I mean, anything can happen in the postseason. It's a completely new season. So we'll see what will happen. But right now, if someone said, who do you want to play? I would say Atlanta or Milwaukee.
I would even want to play the Cubs, honestly. I could see us doing something against the Cubs, too.
I'm actually a little nervous for that series then, this coming month about the Cubs, because they're hot. They're hot, and they know that, I mean, they're in the running to make the wild card, so they have something to play for. So that should be an interesting series.
Right. James, what did you think about this series win, man?
Great series win overall. Especially now, you get a day off tomorrow on Labor Day. Then you got Toronto, 2 games. Tuesday night, 7:07. And then, oddly, a Wednesday game, for the only day game in baseball on Wednesday, 3:07 p.m. against the Blue Jays, which is weird. To be honest, the first game of the day begins at 3:07, and then everything else is at night or on Wednesday. Because usually there's a lot more day games on Wednesday in baseball, but just we're the only ones that have a day games for some odd reason on Wednesday. And then you got Miami series. Overall big series win. And I know that Miami series we're playing is Thursday to Sunday, and I know everybody in here is going to be, focusing on the Birds Friday night, and the Phillies play at 7:10 Friday night too. Right, an hour before the Eagles. So that's going to be Friday night's going to be very crazy in the group. Even Thursdays, of course, football kicks off Thursday, but in our fantasy football league, so it's the best. We're at the best time of the year where our minds are going to be boggled between football and the Phillies. So pretty much, I'll be keeping tabs on. I'll definitely still be watching the Phillies this weekend and keeping tabs on everything. But it's just a lot. Like I said, as you're aware, Char, a lot going on this week, and
Right.
a big series win and a lot going on in the podcast coming up. So everybody stay tuned for that. So,
right. Well, that's all we have for you guys tonight. Phillies win 3-2. Like I said, big series win, big playoff implications. Great on standings. So curious to see where this team goes. They're at 81 wins. So right behind the Dodgers, right ahead of the Brewers. Really close NL race. So like I said, that's all we have for you. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. Tomorrow's an off day, so enjoy Labor Day. Hit up the pool. This is probably the last day you have for the pool because I know most places shut down tomorrow. Hit up the beach, relax. I know school starts on Tuesday for a lot of people, so
Don't even.
So if you're watching this and you have school on Tuesday, good luck, man. Have a good school year. But we'll see you guys on Tuesday. Everybody, have a good night. Everybody enjoy this Phillies win and roll the outro. Good night, everybody.
The Vikings!
Swing and a drive, left field. It's going, and it's gone! It is Bedlam at the bank!
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Podcast.